The sea was endless, a mirror of silver under the moonlight. Waves rose and fell like the breath of a sleeping giant, and in the middle of that vast silence sailed the Starling, a weathered ship guided by the steady hand of its captain, Elias Gray. Elias had lived most of his life on the ocean. To him, the sea was both cradle and curse, friend and foe. The salt had worked its way into his bones. The wind had carved lines across his face. He was known as a man of resilience, a leader who could face storms without flinching. Yet beneath that hardened exterior, loneliness echoed. The ocean was vast, but his heart had become a hollow harbor, waiting for something it did not know. On a night when the tide was high and the horizon shimmered like glass, Elias stood at the helm, eyes fixed on the stars. A sudden shimmer rippled across the water, brighter than moonlight, softer than lightning. From the depths rose a figure he could not comprehend at first. Hair like cascading foam, eyes glimmering like tide pools at dawn, and wings, translucent fins that caught starlight and scattered it into 1,000 sparks. She hovered just above the water, her voice carrying like a song woven into the waves. "Who steers the Starling tonight?" she asked. Elias blinked, unsure if the sea itself had conjured a vision to test him. "I am Elias Gray," he answered, his tone firm but reverent. "Captain of this vessel, though perhaps I've lost my way." The being smiled. "Then let me be your compass." Her name was Serenia, a sea fairy bound to the tides, keeper of secrets hidden beneath coral kingdoms and forgotten shipwrecks. She had watched countless sailors pass, their ships like fleeting shadows. But something about Elias held her gaze, his steadiness, his solitude, the way his heart, though heavy, did not sink. Night after night, Serenia returned. Sometimes she sat upon the bow, her laughter blending with the crashing waves. Sometimes she swam alongside the ship, her glowing form cutting through the dark like a lantern on the sea. She spoke of worlds Elias had never seen, palaces of pearl, forests of kelp, songs sung by whales in caverns deeper than light could travel. In return, Elias told her stories of storms survived, of ports bustling with life, of sunsets painted across horizons so vast they felt like eternity. His voice was low, steady, yet softened whenever he spoke to her. What began as wonder soon grew into something neither dared to name. Elias found himself lingering at the rail long after his men had gone below deck, waiting for her. Serenia found herself rising to the surface more often than her kin permitted, drawn to the mortal whose eyes held the same depth as the sea itself. But as all tales between mortals and fae, shadows followed the light. Serenia belonged to the ocean. She was bound to its rhythm. Its tides were her pulse, its currents her breath. To remain too long in the world above was to weaken, to fade. One night, her glow dimmer than usual, she confessed her truth. The sea calls me back, Elias. I am not meant to linger here. If I stay, I will dissolve into the foam. Elias's chest tightened like a sail caught in sudden wind. He had weathered storms fiercer than any sailor could dream of, yet nothing compared to the thought of losing her. Then what is to be done? He asked. Serena's eyes glistened with sorrow. We cannot hold both worlds. Yours is the deck and the stars above. Mine is the current and the shadows below. For a long moment, only the sea spoke, its waves lapping gently against the hull. Then Elias stepped forward, his voice steady though his heart trembled. Love is not about cages nor chains. If the sea must take you, then let it take you knowing it leaves a piece of you with me. And should you ever rise again, you'll find me waiting as constant as the tide. The night of farewell came when the ocean stilled as if holding its breath. Serena rose one final time, her form fragile, like glass about to break. She placed her hand upon Elias's chest, just above his heart. A glow seeped into him, warm and eternal. This is my gift, she whispered. Whenever the sea whispers against your hull, know it carries my voice. Whenever the wind fills your sails, know it carries my touch. Elias bent his forehead to hers. And know this, Serena, no ocean, no storm, no horizon could make me forget. With a final, sorrowful smile, Serena sank back into the water. The waves closed around her, glowing faintly, then stilled. She was gone. Days turned to weeks, weeks to years. The crew whispered of their captain's strange fortune, how storms seemed to part before the starling, how fish were plentiful wherever they sailed, how the sea itself seemed to favor Elias Gray. He never spoke of the ferry, but at night, when he stood alone at the helm, he would close his eyes and hear her voice in the waves. Legends spread. Sailors said Captain Gray was beloved of the ocean. Some claimed they saw silver light trailing his ship under moonlit skies, as if a spirit swam alongside. And when storms threatened to swallow lesser vessels, the starling sailed steady, guided by a love that defied both sea and sky. Elias grew older, his hair salted like the sea, his hands weathered as driftwood. Yet his eyes still searched the horizon, not for ports or treasure, but for a shimmer of light breaking the waves. And sometimes, on nights when the sea was calm and the stars burned bright, a faint song would rise from the depths, soft, sorrowful, but laced with hope. And Elias Gray, captain of the Starling, would smile through the wind, knowing that love, once planted, never truly drowns. It drifts, it lingers, it becomes the tide itself.